Max Verstappen has never been a man of half measures. When he races to win. When he speaks, his words carry the weight of stone. And when he stays silent, it's because something big is boiling beneath the surface. On the eve of the Austrian Grand Prix, one of Red Bull's most symbolic weekends, it's Verstappen's silence that's shaking the top floors of Milton Keynes. Because behind the facade of a contract locked in until 2028 lies a clause that could completely rewrite the balance of Formula One. The four-time world champion, currently third in the standings and 43 points behind Oscar Piastri, has never hidden his frustration about a season in which he feels abandoned by the car, the strategy, and, more visibly than ever, the project itself. But the issue isn't just technical, it's political. And this time, the cards might fall off the table sooner than expected. In Thursday's press conference, Max was cold, distant, even irritated. He didn't confirm his commitment to Red Bull for 2025. He didn't reassure anyone. He simply said, "I'm not thinking about it." But those who know Verstappen understand this is his way of saying, don't count on it. And that's exactly where the clause comes into play. One that, according to internal sources, could become effective as early as next Monday if Max doesn't rank in the top two of the championship by the end of June. In other words, if Verstappen doesn't overtake Norris during the Austrian weekend, the door opens for him to leave Red Bull. And no, it's no longer just a theory. Journalist Giuliana Sarasoli confirmed that it's not speculation pulled out of thin air. He's not in the top two, and it doesn't look like he will be. The clause will be triggered, she stated bluntly. And so the question that everyone avoids asking out loud becomes inevitable. What if Max really leaves? The paddock knows. Toto Wolff knows. Even Russell knows, because George Russell's contract renewal with Mercedes is mysteriously stalled, just as Verstappen's dissatisfaction is reaching a boiling point. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. In Formula One, nothing happens by chance. The truth is, Verstappen has lost trust. Not so much in the mechanics or engineers, but in the project. After the exits of Adrian Newey and Jonathan Wheatley, Red Bull is no longer the perfectly tuned war machine that helped him dominate for 4 straight years. They're building their own engine from scratch with massive unknowns for 2026. And Max, who always looks ahead, has no time to waste. Those close to him say Verstappen doesn't focus on today. He looks at what comes next. And that next at Red Bull doesn't look as bright anymore. In the atmosphere, there's a scent of fracture. Words are colder. Answers more evasive. Max has no interest in playing the role of the loyal soldier. He never has. And now, with a clause that frees him if he's not in the top two halfway through the season, he holds a powerful lever. A ticking time bomb set to explode right after the Austrian weekend. And here's another detail that stirs the waters even further. Verstappen's refusal to publicly comment on his future. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to respond. "I'm tired of this story," he said. But he said it at a time when every word is being weighed by rival teams, sponsors, the media, and by a Red Bull that, for the first time in years, can no longer afford to control the narrative. The biggest risk? Losing their symbolic driver at the most delicate moment in the team's technical history. And then there's Mercedes, the great enemy of the past, the quiet suitor of the present. Toto Wolff has never hidden his interest. He knows Verstappen is the only one capable of inheriting Lewis Hamilton's media and technical legacy, the only one who can sell merchandise, boost TV ratings, and, most importantly, lead the team back to victory in the new regulatory cycle. The fact that Russell, Mercedes' homegrown talent, still hasn't renewed his contract is far too telling. Mercedes is making space, preparing the ground, and they know Austria could be the turning point. Verstappen knows he can ask for anything. More decision-making power, more control, more freedom. He has become the face of modern F1, and if he decides to leave, the entire paddock will have to adapt. If Verstappen truly activates the exit clause, it's not just a driver changing teams. It's the whole sport shifting beneath our feet. The entire axis of Formula One is shifting. Red Bull would lose its anchor, the champion, who essentially delivered 4 consecutive world titles on his own, while Mercedes would gain a devastating weapon to launch a new winning era. But make no mistake, this is not just a market operation. It's a matter of power, dominance, and control. Because Max is not a driver who adapts. He's a driver who demands. He wants a team that listens to him, that moves at his pace, that builds a war machine around him. Red Bull today is no longer that team. The void left by Newey isn't just technical, it's cultural. Yes, the car is still fast, but the direction, unclear, the leadership, fragmented. And Verstappen is not someone who stays where he doesn't rule. Mercedes, on the other hand, offers a clear vision, renewal, ambition, space to write a new chapter. Hamilton's legacy is massive, but who better than Max to inherit it? Especially now, with his reputation at an all-time high. Victorious, polarizing, an icon who attracts both admiration and controversy in equal measure. And he knows it. He knows it perfectly well, which makes him even more dangerous for Red Bull. And let's not forget another crucial element: external pressure. Sponsors, broadcasters, commercial interests. Everyone knows that a moving Max Verstappen is worth gold. The mere possibility of seeing him in a different suit has already triggered analysis, theories, and strategic moves in paddock corridors. In an era where a driver's brand matters as much as the stopwatch, Max is the jackpot. Still, there's a small window of opportunity for Red Bull. Small, but it exists. Offer him real, concrete guarantees. A credible engine plan for 2026. An immediate return to competitiveness in the second half of 2024. And above all, listen to him. Make him feel like more than an employee. Make him feel like the center of the entire project. Because Max is not just looking for speed, he's looking for leadership. The problem is, no matter how much Red Bull tries to patch things up, the atmosphere is already compromised. The relationship is cracked. Public statements are cold, gestures robotic. The feeling is that Verstappen is already looking beyond. And if that's the case, the paddock better brace itself for a summer inferno. From here to Spa, every race will be a potentially decisive stage. Every micro-strategy will be read as a signal. Every statement, every glance, every silence, everything will be analyzed under a microscope. Because if Verstappen really leaves Red Bull then no one is safe anymore. And here comes the final question, perhaps the thorniest of all. What if it's already decided? What if the departure was planned months ago with the clause just a formality? After all, Toto Wolff's apparent calm, Russell's silence, Red Bull's rising tension, these are all signs worth noticing. Formula One has always been a game of anticipation, and whoever moves first wins. At this point, all we can do is wait for the Austrian weekend to end. But be warned, don't expect official announcements. The real earthquakes in Formula One never start with a press conference. They begin with one less smile, an avoided sentence, a clause activated behind closed doors. And by the time you notice it, it's already too late. Verstappen will write the next chapter. But it's up to us to figure out whether it'll be in Red Bull Blue or Mercedes Silver. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this exclusive analysis. If you enjoyed this content, leave us a comment. Do you think Verstappen will really leave Red Bull? And if so, which team will he go to next? We're curious to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next updates on the driver market and internal team tensions. On your screen right now, there's a new video diving deep into Mercedes' secret moves behind the scenes. Click on it now. If this story caught your attention, the next one will leave you speechless.